Hello and welcome to Mr. Tompkins EdTech. This series of videos provides work solutions for the GCSE Maths topic test produced by AQA. This video is fractions. Whilst these topic tests make excellent exam preparation and revision material, regardless of which exam board you're sitting, they are particularly useful for students studying for AQA as they are prepared by the same team who will be writing your papers in the summer. They will work best if you try and answer the questions yourself before watching the video. The topic test papers can be downloaded from this address, which I've also linked in the description below. They'll require a teacher account to access, so either ask your maths teacher to download and share them with you, or alternatively you can try pausing the video and attempting the question first before pressing play again to listen to my solutions. Check this playlist for all the other topics I've covered. I'm busy recording all of these topic tests, so if the particular topic you're looking for isn't there yet, why not drop me a comment below with your request and subscribe to my channel to receive notification of future uploads. If there is anything you don't understand, please ask in the comments. Make sure you mention the question number and try to be as specific as possible. I try to answer all questions promptly, especially around exam times. If you found the video useful, please do hit the like button, as this really helps me out. You might also like to check out my exam paper walkthroughs covering all the recent papers and practice papers from AQA. Just click on the card appearing at the top of the screen now. Okay, let's get started. Before we get started, I'm just going to show the blank question paper. So if you don't have a copy, you can now pause it and have a go at the questions first. And then once you're finished, you can start again and look at the answers. Okay. Welcome along to another AQA topic test. Today we are looking at fractions, which is a foundation topic, but it's also useful for higher tier as well. And this particular test is non-calculator. Right, so question one, put these numbers in order, starting with the smallest. You must show you're working. So I think the easiest thing to do would be to rewrite these all as decimal numbers. So let's take this this first one, 13 over 4. 13 over 4 is the same thing as what is a kind of a mixed number. 4 goes into 13 3 times. So that's the same thing as 3 remainder 1, 3 and 1/4. Now a quarter is 0.25. It's good to remember a few decimal to fraction conversions. So that makes 3 1/4, 3.25. Okay, so we've got 3.25 as our first one. The next one is 3 1/2, which is 3.5. I'm going to write 3.50, so I've got the same number of decimal points here and here, so I can compare them easier. And then the next one, well, that's already a decimal, 3.15, and the square root of 9. Well, 3 times 3 is 9, so that must be 3. Again, I'm going to write this two decimal places, so I've got the same number of digits here, here, and here to compare. Okay, so now I've got them all as decimals. It's easiest to see which is the smallest and which is the biggest. So my 3.00 is going to be the smallest, which is this one here, isn't it? So I'm going to write them down there in the format they gave me. So that's root 9 is the smallest. Next biggest, 3.15, that one there. Oops, 3.15. Then that's the next biggest, isn't it? Which is 13 over 4, and then finally 3 1/2. Okay. Question 2, work out 1/3 times 1/4. So multiplying fractions, we multiply the numerators together. 1 times 1 is just 1, and then we multiply the denominators together. 3 times 4 is 12. So fraction multiplication is the easiest one, isn't it? 3/12. Okay, B, what is halfway between 1/4 and 1/2? Okay, what's 1/4 and 1/2? Well, 1/2 is the same thing as 2/4, so what we're looking for is halfway between 1/4 and 2/4. Now we've got no numbers between 1 and 2, but if we rewrote these both in terms of eighths, so 1/4 is 2/8 and 2/4 is 4/8, then we can see that in between here we can fit in 3/8, which is halfway between those two, isn't it? So I'm going to say that the answer is 3/8 there. Question 3, work out 2 1/3 plus 1 3/4. Right, so we've got mixed numbers here and we need to add them. This is probably like the hardest question to do actually for fractions because there's quite a few steps involved. So firstly, when we add numbers together, it's easy to do them as improper fractions rather than as mixed numbers. So I'm going to convert them both into improper fractions. I can do that by taking this whole number, multiplying it by that one, and then adding on that one there. So 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So 2 1/3 is the same thing as 7/3. Doing the same thing with the next one. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 3 is 7. So 1 3/4 is the same thing as 7/4. I'm going to add those together. Right, now the rules for adding fraction are we can only add them together if the denominators are equal, and here they're not, because I've got a 3 here and I've got a 4 here. These are not equal denominators. But I can find a common denominator. A common denominator is a common multiple of those two numbers. So if you think about the 3 times table, it goes 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. If you think about the 4 times table, we've got 4, 8, 12, 16, and so on. You'll see that they have a common multiple of 12. So I'm going to rewrite both these fractions as 12ths. 3 goes into 12 4 times. So if I multiply the bottom by 4, I've got to multiply the top by 4 as well. So that's going to give me 7, 14, 21, 28 12ths. And then 4 goes into 12 3 times. So if I multiply the bottom by 3 to get an equivalent fraction, I've got to do the same to the top number. So 7/4 is the same thing as 21/12. Okay, right, so now I've converted them both into 12, so I've got a common denominator. I can simply add the numerators now to come up with what I get when I add them together. So 28 plus 21 is 49. Now it's not 49 over 12 plus 12, it's just 49 12ths. You've got 28 bananas plus 21 bananas, you've now got 49 bananas. So 28 12ths plus 21 12ths is 49 12ths. Okay, so we've added our fractions together, but the last part says give your answer as a mixed number. This is not a mixed number, it's an improper fraction. So to finish off, we need to convert it back to a mixed number. So 12 goes into 49 how many times? Got 12, 24, 36, 48. It goes in 4 times, remainder 1. So the number of times it goes in 4 is my big number. The 1, the remainder, is my little number, and then the divisor is still 12. So that is 4 1/12. Okay, so quite a lot of steps to this. Convert it to an improper fraction, find the common denominator, add them, and then convert back. So quite a lot of steps, but each step is relatively straightforward. Question 4, work out 4 2/3 minus 1 4/5. Give your answer as a mixed number. Okay, now subtraction, fraction subtraction follows exactly the same rules as fraction addition. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to convert both these numbers into improper fractions first. Then we're going to find a common denominator, then we're going to subtract them, and then we're going to convert back to a mixed number, just like we did in question 3. Okay, so first off, writing 4 2/3 as an improper fraction. 4 times 3 is 12, add 2 is 14. So 4 2/3 is 14, is 14 thirds. Okay, subtract. What's 1 4/5 as an improper fraction? Well, 1 times 5 is 5. Add 4 is 9. So that's 9/5. So I've got 14 thirds minus 9/5. Next step is to find a common denominator. So what's common between 3 and 5? Again, if you think about the 3 times table, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Think of the 5 times table, 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. Got a common denominator, a common multiple here of 15. So I'm going to make them both fractions out of 15. Okay. 3 goes into 15 5 times. So if I multiply 3 by 5, I've got to multiply the top number by 5 as well. 14 times 5 is going to give me 70 fifteenths. 5 goes into 15 3 times. So multiplying 9 by 3 as well. I'm going to get 9, 18, 27. So 9 fifths is the same thing as 27 fifteenths. Okay. So now I've got two numbers with the same denominator. I simply need to subtract the numerators now, don't I? So 70 subtract 27. 70 subtract 20 is 50. 50 subtract 7 is 43. So that's going to give me 43 fifteenths. Okay. Right, almost there. All we've got to do now is convert that back into a mixed number. I do that by thinking, how many times does 15 go into 43? I think it goes in twice. 15, then 30, then 45 would be too much, wouldn't it? So it goes in 2 times. 2 times 15 is 30. So the difference between 30 and 43 is 13. So it's 2 and 13 fifths. Sorry, 2 and 13 fifteenths. 2 and 13 fifteenths. Just wanted to take a few seconds out to talk about my Patreon page, which you can find at patreon.com/Mr. Tompkins EdTech. On here you can gain access to exclusive content, including early access to my past paper walkthroughs. So if you like my content, definitely worth checking that out. Also, if you become a Pythagorean patron, you get a special shout out in every video. So check it out. Back to the maths. Question 3. 600 people visit a cinema. A quarter go to screen 1, 40% go to screen 2, and the rest go to screen 3. How many people go to screen 3? Okay, so we need to work out what a quarter of 600 is, and then we need to work out what 40% of 600 is, and then we can see what's left, and the rest must go to screen 3 then. So let's work out a quarter of 600 first. Quarter times 600. Basically, that's the same thing as 600 divided by 4. Divided by 4 is easy, just half and half again. So half of 600 is 300, and half of 300 is 150. So a quarter of 600 is 150. Next, we want to work out what 40% of 600 is. What's 40% of 600? Okay, well, 40% is 41/100ths, which is the same thing as 4/10ths of 600. So when you've got a fraction of a number like that, you need to divide by 10 and times by 4. So 600 divided by 10 would be 60, and 60 times 4 would be 6, 12, 18, 24. It's going to be 240. So that's going to be 240. So I make it 150 people go to screen 1, 240 people go to screen 2, so the rest must go to screen 3. Okay, so let's add 150 to 240 to find out how many go to the other two screens. That comes out to 390. And then let's take that away from 600 to find out how many go to screen 1. So that's 0. Can't take 9 away from 0, going to borrow 1. 10 take away 9 is 1, and 5 take away 3 is 2. So I make that 210. So 210 go to screen 3. Well, that's that. I hope you found the video useful. If you did, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel. Also, check out the playlist on the right for more topic tests, or the one down below for past papers. See you again next time.